Hey everybody, this is Dylan with Jowers Technology Solutions again. I'll be making another video, and this one is on spanning tree. So I'm studying the CCNP switch again to retry for the third time. So I studied the CCNP switch and failed twice. Everybody studies and fails at something, right? Well, today I'm going to go over spanning tree and show you the ins and outs of it. I'm not an expert by any means, but I will show you what I know. So to start off with, to give you the layout, so I have DLS1 in the top left and DLSL2 in the top right. I said DLS2 in the top right. Both of these are Cisco Layer 3 3750 switches, and the bottom two are ALS1 and ALS2. They are Layer 2 2960 switches. So normally I would go through here, and if this was an initial setup, I would create trunk ports and create VLANs and maybe even set up VTP if it were, if we're doing layer 2 with several switches. In this case we're just doing 4. I already have VTP set up, so I can show you that real quick. So show VTP status, and so you can see it's already set up here, and all 3 of these are clients, and they all have the same domain name, same version, and same password. So, and this is also the VLANs that we're looking at today. So 10 through 99, well 10 through 500, but 200 is a parking lot VLAN and 500 is the native. So we're mainly going to be working with 10 through 99. And also here is the trunk port. Oh, here's one of the trunk ports, just to give you an idea of how it's set up. So all of the trunk ports for the layer 3 switches, they have an encapsulation .1Q, so it's speaking the native trunking language, if you will. They are all set up with native VLAN 500, and they're all allowing all VLANs except for VLAN 1 and VLAN 200 on for these particular ports. And they're all set up with a trunk, and they're all set up with non-negotiate. Do a show span brief, short for show spanning tree brief. And you'll see that we're using PVST right now per VLAN spanning tree, and that's across the board currently. So if you copy that over, you'll see that all these are currently running PVST. So the first thing I initially want to show you here is that if you do a show span route, you'll see that DLS1 is the route bridge for all VLANs currently. So basically right now, if a DLS1 went down, we would have some problems. Spanning tree would have to recalculate its paths to find the best path to the router. So what I would like to do right now is kind of reconfigure that so that DLS1 is handling the odds and DLS2 is handling the evens as far as the VLANs go. So that DLS1 will be the route bridge for the odds, and DLS2 will be the route bridge for the evens. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So you do a spanning tree, VLAN, 10, 30, 50, 70, and 99, and do root primary. And then as a backup, we're going to do spanning tree, VLAN, 20, 40, 60, root secondary. So that way if DLS2 goes down, then all those even VLANs, if you will fail over to DLS1 as the as the root bridge. I'm going to go to DLS2, and we're going to do the same thing except backwards. So spanning tree VLAN 10, 30, 50, 70, 99, and this is going to be root secondary. Same exact opposite for the evens. So 20, 40, 60, root primary. So when we go back and we look at this spanning tree or show span root, you'll see that the evens have a cost of 0, which means that DLS2 is the root bridge for these VLANs. Same thing goes for DLS2. Show span root. So we see that the evens have a cost of 19 because they are one switch hop, if you will, away. So they have a root cost of 19, and the rest of the VLANs have a root cost of 0 because DLS1 is the root bridge for those odds, for the odd VLANs. And if you go down here to ALS1, you'll see that show span root, if I can type. So these all have a cost of 19 because whether it's VLAN or the odd VLANs or the even VLANs, they have to go at least one hop or one switch hop to get to the root bridge. Same thing with ALS2. Alright, so let's see what happens if we shut down. Let's see here. So DLS1, the root port is 11. So let's go to DLS2 and see what happens if we shut down port 11. So we do a shutdown exit, and do a show span port. We'll see that that went to port 12 because port 11 and port 12 are connected on both ends between DLS1 and DLS2. But then what happens if we shut down? What happens if we shut down port 12 as well? Let's take a look. So now both links that are connecting directly between DLS1 and DLS2 are both down. So let's see what happened. So now we have the root bridge. Well, for all VLANs except for VLAN 20, the root bridge is now DLS1. And if you go over here, I even show span root. So now we see that there's actually two hops, if you will, for the VLAN, for the odd VLANs, yeah. And for VLAN 20 and VLAN 40 and VLAN 60, this is the root bridge. So you kind of see how it goes. If a switch port goes down or if a switch goes down, spanning tree has to recalculate its path cost to the root bridge. So I'm going to go ahead and turn these back on. If I can remember what I turned off. So just 11 and 12, okay. And once you open these ports back up, get back to DLS1. So now that's returned to normal. It's one hop count. And that's returned to normal as well. And of course these are all the root ports as well again, so port 11. Alright. So as you can see how it kind of works, this is just the beginning phase of how I'm configuring spanning tree for my lab. So I hope this has been helpful for you, and I appreciate you watching. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below, and I'll answer them the best I can. Thank you.